Premier League Weekly Podcast. Each week we will be discussing recent and upcoming football games.
Hello, you are listening to the Premier League Weekly Podcast with your host, Luke Curtis. This week we have Gary joining us on the show. How you doing, Gary? You alright?
Very good, thank you.
Good. Coming up, Everton took on West Brom, where Mike Dean sent off West Brom boss Slaven Bilic. Arsenal challenged the mighty Hammers. Tottenham's Son scored an incredible 4 goals against Southampton, and Lundstrom missed a penalty for Sheffield United. We're going to start off with Southampton v Spurs this week. Spurs putting 5 past Southampton. It finished 5-2. What do you think to the game, Gary?
I thought the first half was boring, but as soon as the second half happened and Son got on the game, it sort of started to happen for him.
Yeah, they both had goals ruled out for offside, which were right, really. It was a great opening goal by Danny Ings, I thought. What a touch and a finish. He scored a goal last season like that against Spurs.
Yeah. He's a good player and he's doing well at the moment.
So Son scores 4, Kane assists 4 and gets his own goal. What do you think to the goals?
It's Son. Son's just a quality player. With the assist of Kane, it's either Kane getting the goals or Son. I think Spurs will be good. As soon as Bale comes in the team, Spurs will start turning it around again.
Yeah, I think so too. Do you know, it's the first time in Premier League history that one player has given 4 assists to the same teammate in a game.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you do now. What did you think to the penalty against Doherty for the handball?
Debatable.
I thought it was very harsh, personally. There was a few like that over this weekend, that Lindelof being one of them, but we'll get on to that a bit later. Are Spurs on the up with Jose?
I don't particularly like Jose's the way he plays football, and I don't think he's doing Spurs much good.
Okay, what about Bale and Regulin? I think so. Say it. The signing. Say it. Regulin. Don't know. What do you think to their new signings? Can they help Spurs?
I think Bale will, if they give him the opportunities and the games, but they're going to rely too much on Bale, I think.
So far,
Kane will.
How far do you think they can go with the signings so far this season?
I think that Spurs will be looking at going into, I think, Europa. They've got to push for Europa.
No Champions League?
No.
I think they might be lucky enough to get Europa League as well. I thought Southampton were pretty poor second half. Their defending was absolutely atrocious.
I don't think it's any worse than Tottenham's in the first half, but the second half they sort of fell apart. They didn't do very well. But then that's Southampton for you. They were like that last season as well.
Yeah, they did alright second half this year. After they got hammered 9-0 by Leicester, they seemed to turn it on and they looked really well. What do you think Southampton are going to do this season? Do you think they'll be alright?
I think they're going to be lucky to get out of relegation.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bottom half.
Okay. Right, next up, Chelsea-Liverpool. Finished 2-0 to Liverpool. Mane's goal, good header really for the first goal, I thought. Good build-up from Liverpool as well.
I thought it was a very, very boring first half with not much entertainment at all from both teams.
Yeah, well,
it wasn't until the second half that they started doing anything.
I think they were both just a bit too cautious, really, trying to suss each other out on what they were trying to do. I had a bit of a dig at him last week, the goalkeeper, Kepa. Shocking. What was he doing for the second goal?
I think he was passing to
Mane.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
He was passing the ball, help him out.
I think he knows Chelsea want rid of him, so he's just trying to do as much as he can to sort of screw Chelsea over a bit, but he was absolutely piss poor in that game, I'm not going to lie.
They did say on the telly that Chelsea will sign their new keeper to replace him before the end of the game, which they did. It was Mendy from Rennes that they signed.
He cost 71.6 million in 2018, that goalkeeper. Surely that's the end of him now, isn't it? They're not even going to have him as a reserve, I don't think.
Well, apparently there's an Italian clubs that are looking at getting him, so I think the best thing they can do is offload him for whatever they can get for him.
Well, I would as well. He kept 6 clean sheets last season and he conceded 47 goals in 33 Premier League games, which is a pretty shocking record, to be fair.
Trouble is, if you haven't got a decent defence, which I don't think Chelsea have got at the moment, your keeper relies on the defence to stop the people coming attacking. You've still got to have a decent keeper, though, at the end of the day, and they can't rely on the keeper to save them.
So what did you think to the red card for Christiansen?
I think Christensen dived on Mane. It wasn't even an attempt for the ball. If it had been in rugby, it would have been a high tackle. In any other sport, it would have been shot. And in football, it was ridiculous. It wasn't even a footballing situation.
Yeah, I don't see how Lampard can try and deny or even have anything to say really after the game about that. It was a stonewall red card all day. So
I think defending him would be a bit silly.
Yeah, so do I. Liverpool done the league double over Chelsea last season with an aggregate score of 7-4 to Liverpool. Timo Werner played okay, I thought. He missed a penalty, but he looked pretty good, to be fair.
He played alright, but I don't think the rest of Chelsea's team played that well. But I think Werner had a good game. Last time he played was against Brighton. He scored, and he's done alright. I think he's doing alright there.
What do you think to Thiago? Come on as a sub
for Liverpool. Yeah,
I thought he looked quality.
He done alright. He's not a bad player. He was a good signing for Liverpool. He's the only one I think they signed all the season, but he was a good player. He did do well. Yeah,
I think he's going to be a bit of a baller this season. He's one to watch. Right, we'll move on to Leicester Burnley. Leicester winning 4-2. Great first goal by Wood. He was just too strong for the defender there.
He's a quality player, but I don't think he's as consistent as he should be.
But Burnley aren't really, are they?
No,
That's just Burnley, really.
But Sean Dyche does the best he can with what he's got.
Yeah, Sean Dyche's a great manager. I can see him going this season. Maybe whoever goes first, manager wise, it might be Sean Dyche to take over, because I think he's done all he can for Burnley. If I'm honest with you, that's my opinion.
So I don't think that. I think the first manager to go is going to be Moyes. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Just giving it away now. That's going a bit early there, mate. Right, we'll move on to Harvey Barnes. I went on about him last week a bit. It's going to sound like I fancy him if I'm honest with you, but obviously I don't. I think he's a great player. He is top player.
He's a quality player, and I don't know why he's not being looked at by the England team. Yeah,
I don't know why he hasn't had a call up yet, to be fair, because he's a good young player. He's one that Leicester really want to keep hold of, if I'm honest with you. Poor defending for the Burnley second goal, I thought.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as it should have been.
No,
they should have man-marked him a bit better than what they did.
Yeah, definitely. A lovely footwork from Pires for the third Leicester goal. Wood hit the post late on for Burnley. Probably should have scored.
But I think by then it was over.
I know it was very late on the game, but I think he took it too quickly, the shot. He had time to take a touch. And just before that, he had Dennis Pratt a rocket into the top corner from outside the box.
Quality goal.
I thought so too. Lamperty, good player. What's your opinion?
He's a very good player from what we saw over the weekend. I can see him being looked at by Man City or Man United, maybe even going abroad. But he's a very, very good signing. He was good attacking and defending.
Yeah, I thought he was rapid. He was so quick. He got fouled by Alan Saint-Maximin for the penalty. Views on the penalty?
Yeah, Stonewall.
What? I thought it was a bit harsh personally, but a few people I've spoke to said it was a penalty. But I personally think he got the ball, and then the man tripped over him. But yeah, how do you think Newcastle are going to do for the rest of the season?
Again, the same as last season. I think they're going to be relegation area, down the bottom half of the table. Trouble is they haven't really bought anybody of class, and they're relying upon the odd player like Mendy. I thought Shelvey played all right. Carroll didn't do anything, so they've just got to try and see what they can do. Perhaps Mike Ashley will put his hand in his pocket before he flogs them again.
Mopé scoring 2 goals. He looked pretty decent today. Wilson missed a bit of a sitter as well towards the end. He should have scored the header, if I'm honest with you.
He's a good signing, but I don't think he's what Newcastle need at the moment. They need somebody better than him.
This is Brighton's 4th consecutive season in the Prem. Thoughts on them this season?
I think they're going to be bottom half. I don't think they're going to do anything special this season. I think they'll be bottom area.
Right, and obviously last question on this game. Was it a red card?
In my opinion, no. The player wasn't looking when he flicked his leg over his shoulder and kicked the player in the face.
It was reckless though, wasn't it? Surely he's going to think in his head that guy is going to try and head the ball. So he's either thinking that he's not going to head. Anyone in that position it's head height, so they're going to try and head the ball away from the player, especially as they were in like near the area. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it was the middle of the pitch. I thought it was just dangerous and reckless.
In my opinion, I think a yellow would have sufficed.
Okay. Leeds Fulham 4-3 to Leeds. Leeds' first home game at Ellen Road since a 3-3 draw with Charlton back on the 8th of May 2004.
Yeah, it's a very good game, entertaining with lots of goals. Leeds look good, and I can see Leeds being top 10. I think they'll do well this season.
So do I. They like to score a lot of goals, but then they also like to concede, so it might be a bit of a dangerous season for them. If they carry on playing like that, it will be a pretty hard season for them when it comes.
They've got a quality manager, so
yeah,
I think he's a good manager and he'll do well at Leeds.
I think he's good. If I'm honest, I can't see him staying there. If a big job comes up, he'll go, because he's one of them managers that I think he'll move on to not a bigger club, but a bigger club. If someone comes in like Juve or PSG, they might look at their Leeds manager Bielsa, because I think he's highly rated. A good Bamford goal.
I've seen Patrick Bamford play a few times over the years, and he is a good quality player, and he's done well against Fulham, and it was a good goal, good individual goal.
It was shocking defending for the second week in a row by Fulham. I've seen better defending on a Sunday at my local park. They're destined to go down with defending like that.
Fully agree. Yeah, they just seem to be, I don't know, not working as a team that they should be. But at least Fulham haven't spent all of their £100 million on players this time round.
Yeah, they need to. They need to spend on defenders, don't they?
Well, they need to spend on something, but I don't think they need to spend 100 million.
Another high-scoring game. Everton 5, West Brom 2. Calvert-Lewin hat-trick. What do you think to the game?
Very entertaining game. Calvert-Lewin should, as far as I'm concerned, be in the England squad. He's been performing for the last few games and a lot of last season. He's a good player and he's young.
That was his first hat-trick in the Premier League. He's the first person since Wayne Rooney to score a hat-trick for Everton in the Prem since 29th of January 2018, which was against West Ham. Gibbs got a red card for shoving Rodriguez in the face.
And I fully agree, Gibbs should have gone off. He should know better. He's not a new player. He's been the player that's been around for a little while and he knows what he should and shouldn't do. And that's just stupid.
And Slaven Bilic also got his marching orders walking up to Mr. Mike Dean.
I think like most of the country, they will disagree that he should have been sent off. He's just stupid that he got sent off. He didn't swear. He was asking a question. All Mike Dean had to say, if nothing else, was wait, I'll speak to you later, and walk away. If you continue, then I will book you. Warn him. It was just stupid because I don't think Slaven Bilic did anything wrong.
I agree with you. I don't think so. I think Mike Dean got on his Mike Dean high horse as usual, and he sometimes he just thinks he's bigger than the game. He is quite comical sometimes, but also sometimes he can be a bit of a bellend. James Rodriguez, good signing for Everton.
Yeah, he played well. He did do well the other day. It was good. Yeah. I thought Everton generally played
scored
well.
A good goal. I thought he took his goal well. To be fair, one of the goals for West Brom,
I think it was the first goal by Diagrady or something, I think his name is. Can't remember his name. That was a great finish, like from the edge of the box. How the defender, to be fair, should have gone to him, but it was a good finish. And Pickford, he could have maybe got his hand to it because his positioning was awful. I don't rate Pickford at all. I don't know how he gets in as England's number one. He's so erratic, and the guy is he's an absolute tool, if you want me to be honest. I
think Pickford's another Joe Hart. He was alright at the start, but as time's going on, he's just not. I think there's better goalkeepers out there that, like Pope, who plays well.
Henderson for Sheffield United.
There's better goalkeepers out there who play better consistently, where Pickford just seems to fall off the table quite a lot.
Yeah, he just runs around like a nutter, doesn't he? How do you think Everton will do this season?
I think they've got a good team. They're playing well. There's a lot of good young talent in Everton's team, and I think they're going to be top 10. They might have one of their better seasons this year.
West Brom?
No, I don't think West Brom are going to do that well. I think they probably be relegated.
Okay. Arsenal versus West Ham. Arsenal coming out 2-1 winners. This was Arsenal's second London derby in a row this season, following their 3-0 win over Fulham last week.
I personally thought that Lacazette's goal was offside. I thought not Lacazette was offside, sorry. I thought Aubameyang was offside when he crossed the ball to Lacazette to score the first goal, or the Arsenal goal. I just thought it was offside. There was no VAR, there was no hold on. It was just a stumble. It was okay.
It must have been onside then.
Well, I didn't think so.
Personally, when I see it, I thought it was offside, but I'm sure they'd have pulled back for it. That's 2 in 2 games for Lacazette now.
Yeah, I don't think Arsenal are going to be challenging for the top of the league. I don't think they're that good. I thought they were lucky against West Ham. They left it till the 84th minute before they got the winning goal, which is very late to leave a game, especially against someone like West Ham, who aren't depicted as a quality team at the moment.
Arsenal conceding in the last few minutes of the first half. Antonio scoring with West Ham's one and only shot in the first half.
I do feel sorry for West Ham. I like West Ham, but they just don't seem to play that well. I don't know if Nolan played. I don't think he did. And they noticed it when Nolan did. Noble.
No, he retired years ago, mate.
I don't know. He was helping. He's the
assistant, isn't he? Yeah.
I don't think Noble
put
played.
on a bit of timber.
I don't think Noble played, and they noticed it.
Yeah, Antonio probably should have had a second for West Ham in that, but you got to take them chances in the game, especially as close as that. They could have got a point from that.
I had West Ham down for a draw against Arsenal.
Well, they hit the bar as well. Second half, I thought they played really well in the second half. West Ham, they definitely could have got something from that game.
Yeah.
Palace 3-1 winners over United at Old Trafford. You got to love that, ain't you?
I think Hodgson tactically was great because I think he did well with his tactics. He's very, very good tactician for Palace when Palace aren't really as big a team as Man United. Man United should have done a lot better.
Yeah, I thought De Gea was a bit sloppy from the start, really. For some reason, he's a bit like Kepa. He's not as bad as Kepa, but he was right up there with the best goalkeepers in the world. But for some reason, he makes so many mistakes, and I didn't think he was very good against Palace.
I don't think any of the players like Fernandes or Pogba or Greenwood, who when he came on, or Rashford, did that well for Man U.
Yeah. Palace have not lost in the league at Old Trafford since 30th of September 2017. That's some good going, really, seeing at Old Trafford. Not many people used to be able to win there, especially under Fergie.
Yeah.
Zaha scored 2. Firstovic was a bit controversial.
I don't rate Zaha as a good player in the respect that he would be consistent. He's not a consistent player.
What did you think to the penalty? This is what I mean when I say it was controversial. The penalty that someone went to cross the ball and it flicked up and hit Lindelof on the arm.
Who was doing a dinosaur impression at the time.
Yeah,
I don't think his arms were next to him.
Was it a penalty?
No.
Shocking. I don't know how they can give these decisions. It's the same as the McDoherty one for Tottenham. It's the same thing. Someone kicks the ball, it hits Winks on the foot, bounces up, hits someone on the arm. It's not a penalty.
As they proved on Match of the Day, he was running at the time, and it's just where your arms go when you run. But he didn't have his arms out, stretched out. He just had his arms slightly out because he was moving.
Maybe they need to sort of tape defenders or players' arms to their back, and then that way people won't get penalties given against them.
When you got your arms tied to your back, you can't jump.
Well,
so how are you supposed to defend?
It makes the game more interesting, won't it? So the penalty was retaken. I honestly do not understand what they were thinking when they made him retake for that penalty. Because if you see in the Leeds-Fulham game, both keepers for the penalties come off their line. De Gea come off his line a bit. Lloris come off his line in the Tottenham-Southampton game.
And the Liverpool game.
No consistency. Yeah, Liverpool game. No consistency whatsoever. That to me, you can't. A keeper needs to come off his line. I can understand if they're running 3 yards out and diving, but he literally took a step. Do you know what I mean? They'll do that again in another game, and they won't give it. Do you know what I mean? They won't pull the keeper back up on it.
The trouble is they're inconsistent with it because, as you say, there was a lot of penalties in the Prem and in other leagues where I would imagine the keeper has come off the line, and De Gea, as you say, didn't run forward. He just bounced off the line and went sideways. So, as far as I'm concerned, it was a good save. But United deserved to lose the game.
Yeah, I thought United were poor. They had very few chances in the game. They didn't deserve nothing from that game, to be honest with you.
Yeah. They need to buy a defender.
Yeah. Lindelof, defending for Zaha's second goal, was pretty poor in that game.
Yeah.
I find him a very shaky defender. He's not good enough for United. To me, he'd probably be good enough for a bottom 5 club, if you want me to be honest with you.
Maybe he'd be good for someone like West Ham or Brighton or Newcastle, but I don't think United are supposed to be one of the best clubs in the country, and I don't think he's good enough for their defence. But then again, as I said, they need to put some decent defenders out there with the defenders they've got left. There isn't many that are any good, but what they have got, Maguire's good, but he needs to have somebody firm with him.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I thought Palace played decent as well in that game. They looked really good in that. They seem to turn up against the big clubs and
do rubbish against the small clubs.
Yeah, they just seem to want to be at home watching it on the telly for some reason against the small clubs. If they play that against everyone, they'd be in. Maybe, well, I'd say Europe, but I think I'm kidding myself there a bit. They'd probably get in the top 10. But yeah, I think Palace. I think they'll be alright this season if they carry on playing like that.
I do like Andros Townsend. He's a quality player. He's good at Tottenham. He was a good signing to Palace.
Do you ever play for QPR?
No, I don't think so. We wouldn't keep him if he did. Thanks for adding that in.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention Gary's a QPR fan. I should have mentioned that at the start of the show. You probably would have turned off, but
so I don't know a great deal about football.
I don't know why he's on it because they're not even in the Premier League. So, but anyway, we'll move on.
We were once.
Wolves City, 3-1 City. I thought this was going to be a really good game because they're both very good teams. Kevin De Bruyne got City on the way with a penalty. I thought he won the penalty. I thought he left his legs out and he went down a bit easy. But to be fair, the guy did dive in. I think
De Bruyne was going down before he was tackled, so he was looking for the penalty. But he's a quality player, Kevin De Bruyne. Quality.
Yeah, he's got to be probably best midfielder in Europe, easy, maybe in the world. I'd put him up there in the top players in the world at the moment. His assists and his passing is just outrageous, and I just love watching De Bruyne, to be fair, every week.
I wonder if Chelsea fans and Chelsea themselves are gutted that they didn't keep him.
They probably are, but they're probably gutted about Salah as well.
Well,
because they got rid of Salah, but then everyone says that's Mourinho. Mourinho's the one who got rid of them players when they're at Chelsea. But hey ho, you move on. It was great build-up play from City for the second goal by Foden.
Yeah, it was a good goal by Foden.
To be fair, I'm surprised he actually started the game with what's gone on at the moment. But I know they're young, and when lads are on holiday, they're on holiday, aren't they? You can't help it if you want to go to Iceland and meet up with a couple of cheeky birds and that. But we've all done it, haven't we? You know what I mean, Gary?
No.
Okay.
I don't like Iceland. It's not a very nice shop.
Yes, it's cold. Podence, I think that's how you say it. Podence unlucky and should have scored. To be fair, the second chance he had, where he tried chipping the keeper. If you're going to try that, you should really put it away. To be fair, unless you can't do it, you need to be going further on because he had so much room to keep going towards the keeper. He could have put it bottom corner. Maybe megged him. I'm going on here like I would have done it, but
I think City should have finished the game off earlier. They should have got the third goal early. They had enough opportunities to do that.
Well, Jimenez scored with a header, didn't he? Which when it was 2-0, so City must have been a bit worried with
thinking
that.
They're going to get a draw.
Yeah, because Wolves done them last season 3-2. Matt Doherty scored in the last minute, and they won 3-2. So I thought Wolves could come back, but Wolves weren't really up to the races, especially the first half. I can't really remember Wolves doing anything in the first half. The second half, they looked alright, and then when Jesus scored the third at the end, it took a big deflection and went in. But I think it was more than what City deserved from that game.
I would have put City down for a win, but I thought they'd have finished the game off a lot earlier.
Where do you think City are going to finish this season?
I think City will come third in the Prem.
Okay, all right. Not many people would have thought you were going to say that, but I'll let you.
Thanks very much.
Right, and last of all, Villa Sheffield United 1-0 Villa. How bad was that game? That was so painful to watch. It was such an awful game. I'd rather shit in my hands and clap than sit and watch a game like that because that was just so bad. Not many talking points for this game, so we'll be quick through this. For me, it weren't a red card. I thought it was a yellow card. They both had hold of each other, and I know, to be fair, at one angle, it looked like Ollie Watkins was trying to run towards the ball and the guy was pulling it. But if you actually look, Watkins had a hold of his arm and he was pulling him as well. So I thought it was a bit harsh. I thought it was very clumsy for the penalty. He lost his man, just swung his leg out and caught him. Really, it was a bit of a stonewall penalty. The new Villa keeper saved the penalty on his debut.
Yeah, but it was awful marking for the goal.
Yeah, it was. To be fair, the Mings flick on, and when I watched the ball go in, it felt like it took about 2 hours for the ball to go in the back of the net. That's what it just felt like watching that game overall, if you want me to be honest with you. Sheffield United had very few chances, but they just didn't turn up, really, and they didn't deserve anything. This weekend saw 44 goals in the 10 games that were there. There was 39 goals in the first 8 games. The record was 42 in a 20-game season. That was beaten by 4 goals. Pretty amazing, really. What do you put that down to? Lack of pre-season or just poor defending and great players?
Bad refereeing.
Yeah.
It isn't all about the goal scorers, it's about referees as well.
I think personally it's about defending and all.
But I don't think referees helped with the situations.
No. Right, we're going to move on to this weekend's fixtures. So can you fire these off? Brighton against Manchester United, 12:30 kickoff on Saturday.
I think Man U will turn it around and beat Brighton quite convincingly 2, maybe 3-0.
Okay, I'm going to go for a 3-1 United. Palace Everton, 3 o'clock kickoff.
I think Everton are doing well at the moment, and on the back of that, they'll beat Palace.
I think they will as well. I think there's going to be a 4-0 Everton. What's your prediction for that?
Probably a 2-1 Everton. Maybe
Okay.
Calvert-Lewin will get another goal.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. At the Hawthorns, West Brom against Chelsea, 5:30 kickoff.
I think Chelsea will be too strong for West Brom. They've got a good quality team, Chelsea, and after losing to Liverpool, I think they'll turn it around.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Werner's going to be running riot against West Brom. I don't think their defence is going to be able to handle him, so I'm going to go for a
4-0 Chelsea win. And the last game of this Saturday is the 8 o'clock kickoff at Turf Moor with Burnley against Southampton.
I'm going to say Burnley 5, Southampton 0.
What?
Because I like Burnley.
You're off your head, mate. You're off your head.
Don't particularly like Southampton. All right, we'll go 4-0 then.
Oh, still, I'm going to go for, I think that'll be 2-2. Right, Sunday, the early kickoff, midday, is Sheffield United against Leeds United.
I think Leeds are going to win that. They're doing well at the moment. They've only had a couple of games in, but they're doing well and they've got a good squad.
Yeah, I think 3-1 Leeds, that game. Next is Tottenham Hotspur against Newcastle, 2 o'clock.
I'm going to go Newcastle 4-0. Just because you...
What have you been smoking tonight?
Because you like Tottenham. I'm going to say Newcastle are going to bounce back from losing the other day. Tottenham are going to be rubbish.
I can see Spurs winning that game quite comfortably. I'm going to go for... They always seem to turn Newcastle over. Well, maybe not last season. At the first game of the season, we seem to let Joe Linton score the only goal he's ever scored in his career, I think. But I think we'll win that quite comfortably 3-1. Man City against Leicester City, 4:30.
I'm going to say 1-1.
Ooh, that's very low for them two teams. I'm going to go for a 3-2 Manchester City win. And the last game of the Sunday is West Ham against Wolves at 7 o'clock.
I'm going to say 2-2. I want West Ham to get a win out of it, but I think the best they're going to get is a draw.
Yeah, I can't see that happening. I'm going to go for a Wolves 3-1. And then Monday, 2 games on the Monday. The first one, Fulham against Villa at Craven Cottage, 6 o'clock kickoff.
To be honest with you, I don't care. I don't care which team wins or draws.
I don't either, but we've got to do it for the pod.
Okay, well, I'm going to go Villa. Jack Grealish to score 1-0 Villa.
I'm going to go for probably a 2 or a 3-1 Villa, seeing how shit Fulham's defence is.
And the last game, Liverpool-Arsenal.
Oh, and there's another big one this week for Liverpool.
I'm going to say 2-1 Liverpool.
Quarter past 8 kickoff. So another night kickoff.
Maybe it's too late for Arsenal. They need to be in bed.
Maybe they might have to get their youngsters in wrapped up. But I think Arsenal will give Liverpool more of a game, I think, than Chelsea. Chelsea just seem to just crumble under the pressure. I think Arsenal look okay this season. I think I'm going to go for it's hard, but I'm 2-1 Liverpool, but I think Arsenal will be unlucky. Right, I normally do 3 questions at the end. First one, top 4, 4th to 1st.
I'm going to go with United, City, Liverpool and Chelsea.
So that's United 4th, City 3rd, Liverpool 2nd, Chelsea to win the league.
Yep.
Do you want mine? Right, mine will be Spurs 4th, Chelsea 3rd, Liverpool 2nd and City will win the league, I think, this year.
Very dubious.
Which manager will be sacked first?
I hate to say it, but I think it'll be David Moyes.
Yeah, I said that last week.
I said that last season as well, but he's lasted.
Well, yes, I don't know how. And which 3 teams will be relegated?
Not in this order, but I think it'll be West Ham, Fulham and West Brom.
Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. Big thank you to Gary for joining me this week. Good luck QPR the weekend. Each Thursday, join me with new guests, new matches and a whole load of Premier League talk. If you never want to miss another episode, click subscribe now. It is totally free and this way you will always stay updated. All our other social media sites can be found underneath as well. Any questions you want us to answer in next week's show, send them to either Facebook or Instagram. See you next week.